everybody, welcome to Saturday Knit Live. I'm Bethany and this is our first studio session of 2024. So welcome. If you're not familiar with what a studio session is, here we do a kind of chat. I sit and talk about things I've done lately, my interests, some things that are going on in the vibrant arts community, and then towards the end I put on a little bit of music for about 5-6 minutes of just quiet crafting time. But I'm glad you're here. Grab yourself your craft of choice, a cozy beverage or a snack, and come hang out. I'm trying something a little different with my lighting here. The upper light is really bright. I don't really like to use it, so I've got like a little light here and I've got backlighting, but I don't wear makeup usually, so you can obviously see my dark bag. So I'm sorry if that's not aesthetically pleasing for you. This is the real me. I've been working all day and I'm home to chill out. So I'm going to be working on a new muscle burrow hat for some charity knitting. Wow. While we're kind of talking and hanging out, I'm going to first start with some announcements. So first couple of announcements, we have some new patterns out, and these are not obviously all of the patterns that have been released this month. They're just the ones that I have come across from some of the people that I follow. First of all, Stephen West. If you're not familiar with our channel here, I'm a big Stephen West fan. Most of the patterns that I knit as far as shawls go, most of them are his. He came out with a new DK weight pattern for a shawl. He calls it the Briornate shawl. It's a kind of learn how to brioche shawl. You knit it in 5 colors or 1 color in 5 skeins if you prefer, and he teaches you different brioche techniques with 1 color for each section, so you can learn how to do 1 color brioche without having to also fiddle with 2 different strands of yarn in 2 different colors. So I have not purchased that myself yet. I'm not sure what the pattern looks like or how it's made up. I am just going based off of the 2 videos, companion videos that he released on his YouTube channel, as well as how I've kind of been able to see what the pattern looks like. And I'll post a picture here from his Instagram page so that you can see yourself what the pattern looks like. I'll also link both his social medias and the pattern link for purchase down below. The second thing I want to say is Pacific Knit Co. If you're not familiar with them, they do what are called doodles, which is a kind of build your own color work style thing, and I'll post in a few pictures of what they do. But they release them themed. They've got a Christmas, fall, spring, winter, Rhinebeck. They've got a spooky one, you know, a kind of basic one. But anyway, they release these doodles, which are different kind of sets of color work that you mix and match together. Their newest one is releasing, by the time you watch this video, it'll already be released, on January 19th. Their Valentine's doodle, which they're calling the Lovebird Lane doodle set, will be released. And that looks really fun if you're into, you know, hearts and Cupid's bows and letters and that type of thing. This will be a fun addition to your color work. Build as you go kind of thing. The last thing as far as patterns kind of goes, in the last studio session I talked about Hedgehog Fibers, I can't read my own handwriting, Pelargonium shawl, which is a long parallelogram shawl. they are actually right now hosting a knit along with that through March 1st. So if you want to get in on that, check out their social media and their website. I'll post that info down below as well, and join in on the knit along. It's a free pattern. You can use your own scraps. You can buy yarn from them. I think most people who are joining in, or a lot of people who are joining in, were also part of the advent calendar that Hedgehog Fibers put out. So they are doing this shawl, which is designed as an advent knit, but doesn't necessarily have to be. They're doing this shawl as an advent knit, or an after advent knit with their mini skeins. So that's, as far as patterns, is all I have there. I do have some other news. Vogue Knitting Live in New York City starts January 25th and it goes through the 28th. It is also available online, so you can sign up for classes, I want to say now actually, and patterns online. There's a lot of sales going on, so check out their website. Again, down below. If you are local to the Akron Canton area and you like contemporary quilts, the Canton Art Museum is doing an exhibition right now on the best of contemporary quilts from 2023, and it is going to be on until March 3rd of this year. So check that out. Again, I don't know how much the membership is, but I do believe they have a free family day one day of the week. So I'll post their website down below. I do have some sad news to report. I got an email from, I hope I'm saying this right, Bonita Yarns. Their founder just recently passed away. Lianka Azule from Bonita Yarns passed away just recently. Her final pattern, the embossed crochet pillow, is available on Etsy. There's also a donation information up on the site, so I will make sure that I post that in the description box below. Bonita Yarns is an amazing yarn company, and they also do awesome patterns, so check them out. Who all is joining me with my Knit 24 in 2024? I will be posting a PDF of this down below if anybody wants to download it. There's also on my Instagram, in my saved stories, under SKL, I believe, and also under Knit 24 in 2024. There is a copy of this that you can edit and add to your Instagram stories. So far, I have knit 5 hats for Knit the Rainbow. If you're not familiar with Knit 24 in 2024, a lot of people are doing this. This just happens to be my spin on it. I am challenging myself, and you, if you'd like to join, to knit 24 items for someone else. And my someone else is a charity called Knit the Rainbow. They are out of New York City, and they directly distribute any knitted or crocheted woven items of cold weather accessories to underprivileged and homeless LGBTQ youth. So if you want any more information about that, I will link their website down below. I will also pause here and insert the informational email that they sent me about some of the type of things that they need or use, or some of the rules that they have for accepting donations. Okay, also on their website, they have this printout. You can print it in black and white or in color, but this is what they want you to include with your shipment. If you don't want to ship it, there are, at least in my area, there are a few local yarn shops that do take donations. I'm planning, to send it myself because I'm planning to gather quite a bit and then send it off. The last thing I have here is I have joined up with the UU Yarns Happy Habit Stitch Tracker. So I have, I don't really do New Year's resolutions, but I do try to learn something new or do something new every year. Whether I stick to it or not, I am at least trying. Like the Knit 24 in 2024, I also want to knit every day this year, or crochet. I want to stitch every day this year. And so far, so good. I have done that every day. I will link UU's site down below if you want to download one of these yourself, keep it on your phone and update it, or I like to have the paper copy printed and kind of stuck in my knitting notebook. Let me see what else I have on my list here. I think that's it for fiber community announcements. Let's kind of get into what I've done lately. I uploaded a different kind of video this past week. It seemed to get pretty good traction. I was excited that everyone seemed to like the video that watched it. Excuse me as I rattle around here and grab a couple stitch markers. But I did that because my birthday was on Monday, and I just wanted to be lazy. And don't take that the wrong way. I love hanging out here with you guys, but I wanted to just be selfish, and I wanted to sit and knit. So that's what I did. I had filmed that video a bit earlier, and instead of sitting down and doing a studio session and feeling rushed or feeling like my heart wasn't in it because I would rather be doing something else then and there, I said, you know what, we'll put off the studio session by a week and we'll upload this video. And so yeah, my birthday was on Monday. I took a half a day from work and went and just hung out with one of my best friends. We got dinner, I knitted, got a new tattoo. So yeah, I mean, it was a good birthday. It was very chill, very low key. I came home from my friend's house and sat down and knitted some more. Finished a hat up and just really enjoyed myself. So far, 2024 has been a good year, and I'm gonna manifest a good rest of the year. So yeah, anyway, that's basically all I've really done this month. I mean, we had a really, really low-key New Year's. My son was with my parents, and my husband and I just sat and watched horror movies. I think we were kind of over all of the cutesy Christmas movies. Not that those are bad. We really both like them, but I think we were just ready for something with a bit more meat. No pun intended. But we were just ready for more adult movies and something that was going to keep our attention for a little bit longer. So we just kind of went back and forth. He'd pick a movie, I'd pick a movie, until about midnight. Then, you know, we wished each other Happy New Year and went to bed. It was just really chill. We've gotten a lot of snow here, and I don't mean as far as like snowfall accumulation, but just it'll snow and then it'll melt, and then it'll snow and then it'll melt, and then we've got ice, and it's so darn cold. We had our first snow day of 2024 this year, and my son was really hoping that he had 2 in a row. Sorry, buddy. He enjoyed it. I don't know how I enjoyed it, if I enjoyed it very much, but it's fine. So some of the movies that we've watched this month, there's quite a bit. Like I said, we had the holiday, we had my birthday, had my husband's birthday too in January. We're both January babies, both Capricorns. I'm not sure how that's supposed to work, but it works. So some of the movies that we watched, or I watched on my own, were Meteor City, which is a Wes Anderson movie. I'm a big fan of Wes Anderson. I really like his directing style. They're really quirky movies. I definitely enjoyed it. I had watched last month, I believe I watched The Grand Budapest Hotel, or a couple months ago, and I really enjoyed that one. There's a couple more movies of his that I haven't watched yet, but that one was on my list for sure to watch. I watched The Terminal. This is a movie that I had watched previously several years ago, and then it just randomly popped in my head one day, and I said, yeah, I have not seen that movie in a while. I think I want to watch it again. So I found it on one of the streaming services. I think I had to rent it for like $3 from Amazon, but you know what? It's a great movie, and it was worth it, and I truly enjoyed it. So yeah. What else did I watch? I watched Witch Hunt. That was an okay movie. And I say okay because I went in based on the trailers and the description expecting a bit more. It was a very abrupt ending. I honestly had no idea that that was what was coming at the end. It wasn't a bad movie. It was just a lot shorter and a lot more stunted than I had expected. But you know, it's fine. You can't please everybody. What I did like was Thumbelina. I am a sucker for the 90s princess / free spirit movies. You know, Anastasia and Thumbelina and Fern Gully and stuff like that. I really love those movies. So I was really craving some nostalgia one day, and I got it. I love Thumbelina. So I am glad I was able to find it on a streaming service. I would have probably gone to the library, but it was like a random last minute decision to want to watch it. So I want to say it was like 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, I want to watch Thumbelina. So it was cool that I could find it. Sometimes technology is good to you. Sometimes it's not. I also finally watched the Barbie movie. That was unexpected. It was unexpected that I liked it. I went in trying not to have any expectations, good or bad. And I'm like, you know, it's a Barbie movie. You know, I don't dislike Barbie. I used to be one of the biggest Barbie girls, but I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was good. I really enjoyed the kind of social commentary, and I really enjoyed, you know, the existential crises, and it was definitely enjoyable. I will fully watch it again because I'm sure there are things that I missed. I watched Ni no Kuni, which is an anime. I believe it was either a video game or a manga first, and then it was turned into a movie, and I really enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it so much that I will probably give the video game a go, which is saying a lot because I don't usually play that genre of video game. So we shall see. I think it's on Xbox Game Pass right now, if I'm not mistaken, so I might be able to play it for free and not really be out any kind of money to try it out and see if it was something that I like. We also watched Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I have never seen this movie, surprisingly enough. It's one of those movies that I kept meaning to see, and I just never got around to it. And my husband owns the graphic novels, and they had just come out with the new animated show. And I said, before we watch the animated show, can we watch the movie? Because they're supposedly a little bit different. So we watched the movie. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was funny. And then I was feeling nostalgic again. It just comes in waves. Sometimes I'll just have a day where I'm like, I just want to watch something mindless that I know the plot to already, that I can just relax. So I watched Astro Boy. I've always liked that series of kind of the mech person, and Astro Boy, it's such a cute movie, and I really enjoyed watching it. It took me 2 days to watch it because I was tired when I started it, so I kind of fell asleep and then, you know, had to finish it the next day. But there's no hurry. On that same subject of like mech or mechanical things, I watched The Creator, which is a new movie that's out, and I really enjoyed it. If you're not familiar with The Creator, it is a movie about humans basically versus androids or robots. And humans are trying to strip the rights from the androids and the robots and anyone supporting them. And it's basically just a world war, a civil war on a world scale. And it's just a genocide, one side against the other. And there's an underlying, like, I don't know that I want to say a love story plot, more of a I love them, doesn't matter what they are or who they are kind of plot. And it was really good. The acting was great, and there was just enough action to make it interesting, you know, along with political unrest in the movie that kind of kept the plot moving, and betrayal and that type of thing. So if you're into a good dramatic / a little bit of action movie with some political undercurrents or some societal undercurrents, this was a good movie. I watched Insidious for the first time with my husband. Now we like horror movies, but we like different genres of horror. I like more thriller, psychological. I want to walk away wondering what just happened. He likes more gore and slasher type of stuff, you know, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, that type of thing. But sometimes we find a happy medium, and I don't mind him watching his movies, and he doesn't mind me watching my movies. We do pretty well that way. But he said, oh, I really kind of want to watch this series, and I said, you know what, I'll watch it. I don't mind, you know, things popping out of places or scary faces or, you know, whatever. So I won't get into much detail. If you are interested, look up the film. I'm not about to put a bunch of spoiler warnings on here, because I wouldn't even know where to start. But we watched Insidious, and I really enjoyed it, and we plan to finish the series. I think there's 4 or 5 movies. I also watched Shudder. That's the same kind of genre, thriller, horror type of movie about a photographer. But yeah, that's pretty much all the movies we've watched in January. It's obviously only the middle of January. Oh, I can't believe it. I didn't take my watch off. It's been counting. Take your watch off if you're counting. If you don't want your movement to count as steps, it asked me if I was exercising. If only. So as far as movies, again, that's it. I haven't done much reading recently. I've just been in the knitting scene too much. And not that that's necessarily a bad thing. I just hadn't found anything that really kind of caught my attention enough to want to sit down and read instead of knit, which is fine. Until recently, and I don't even know if these really caught my attention. The two that I am working my way through right now are Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. This is my second time through this book. So I kind of already know what to expect, plus I'm familiar with most of the Norse myths. I studied them in college. But this particular book, I like this version of Audible's book because it is narrated by the author. And Neil Gaiman has a pretty nice voice. So it's nice to just kind of sit back and knit and listen to the stories and just kind of be immersed in that world. The other thing I'm working on right now is it's, believe it or not, which I can't believe it either, I've been thinking about it for years. I have never read an Ursula Le Guin book, and I can't believe that I haven't. So I looked up all of her books and I thought, oh, where am I going to start? If you hear that in the background, it's my son. He's upstairs playing video games with his friends. Yeah. Anyway. But so I decided to start with The Left Hand of Darkness, which is one of her earliest books. And it is a novel. It's part of a series, and I can't remember the name of the series or what they kind of classify it as. It's kind of like the something saga or something like that. But anyway, it's about someone who is a foreigner on another planet, but this planet doesn't subscribe to gender, which is very confusing to this foreigner, and some of their customs are very confusing. And so it's very, very interesting kind of narrative on gender study or non-gender study. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It's got a lot of technical information in it, which I enjoy in a sci-fi. I like as much information as possible in a sci-fi book. And the fact that she did so much world building and so much character building in this, I'm really appreciating. And so if I make it through this book, I plan to finish this series and then move on to probably the Earthsea series, which is more of a fantasy type of series, which I also really enjoy fantasy. But yeah, if you are interested in a new sci-fi series or author, and Ursula Le Guin has been around for a while, like she's not new, but if you're looking for something different, try her stuff out. So far I'm really enjoying it. I'm about the third of the way through the book. Again, that was The Left Hand of Darkness. So yeah, just those two books, a reread or a re-listen and a new read. I do own one of her books, Lavinia, and it's sitting on my bookshelf with all of my myths books kind of together. And I'm like, oh, I should read this. Oh, I should read this. I just haven't gotten around to being in the mood. As far as games go, I haven't been playing a lot of video games. That's not to say that I haven't wanted to. I'm waiting for some of the new ones that I have on my wish list to kind of come out. And that sounds so spoiled. But some of these games, I was part of like the Kickstarter or the backing for them. So I'm fully anticipating them coming out. I'm really excited, to see updates on them. And I still really love the games that I have, and I am playing them, but I'm not playing many. So the few games that I'm playing Hades, which is about, you play a character named Zagreus, who is the son of Hades, of Greek myth, and he is trying to escape the underworld to get to the surface. And it's a roguelike. If you're not familiar with what a roguelike is, you just make your way through each level. And then when you get sent back to the first level, you still keep all of your experience. You just have to make your way back through all those levels again. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I have it on the Switch as well as on my Steam Deck. I'm currently playing it on my Steam Deck. I'm really enjoying it. Jared will be sitting on the couch next to me and I'll get really frustrated. I'm like, I almost beat him and then they beat me. And he's like, eh. So I kind of get really into it. If you're like an action game and you like Greek mythology, this is a great game. It's not very expensive at all. Again, it's on the Switch. It's also available on Steam, which is PC. I played on my Steam Deck. If you have a Steam Deck, it is great. Very Steam Deck compatible. I'm also playing Bear and Breakfast, which is more of a cozy game. You play as a bear, and he has to clean up these different areas of the forest and rebuild these buildings into habitable bed and breakfasts for humans to bring the humans back. And you collect trash and recycle things and build things. So it's not a farming type of cozy game. It's more of a business type of cozy game, I guess. You do get paid in coins and use the coins to upgrade things for the guests, and then they give you better reviews and then you unlock more things. Anyway, I'm really enjoying that. Again, I'm playing that on my Steam Deck. It is also available on Switch. It's a great game. It's an indie game. If you're into cozy but you don't really want to farm, this is a great game. You can play it for 5 minutes or you can play it for 5 hours. It's awesome. The other one I just started playing, I want to say on Sunday night or Monday night. It's called Lottlenots, and you play as an underwater researcher in the ocean on, I believe, a foreign planet, and your job is to clean it up. This is another cozy game. I'm into the cozy games. You start with like the most basic stuff. You're just kind of cleaning off all the gunk off of all of these things and picking up the litter and recycling it and turning it into other things to give yourself power-ups or to fulfill quests. And then you, later on through the game, you run into these little guys called Lottles. They're like axolotls. I think that's where the name comes from. But you take care of them, you feed them, you make them food, you kind of keep them clean, keep their habitat clean, keep them happy. But all while making sure you have enough oxygen. Because if you don't, you pass out, you get deposited back into your home base, and you lose things out of your inventory. So it's got that little bit of time management that you kind of have to keep paying attention to your oxygen bar and how far you are from the nearest refill station. And the farther you are and the less oxygen you have, the slower you swim. So yeah, it is a really fun game. I believe it might be a part of the Steam sale recently. I can't honestly remember. I think I treated myself for my birthday to buy it because it looked fun and I wanted to try something new. that I hadn't yet, and I had recently tried playing Slime Rancher, and the aspect ratio on that, you don't see yourself, and the camera moves as your hand moves or your vacuum gun moves, and it made me really dizzy, and I had such a hard time playing it. Whereas with this, you can kind of see yourself, and you have two different cameras that move. One is your vacuum or your water gun, and the other one is you. And you can see yourself. So I play those games a lot better. But I really liked the idea of Slime Rancher. So Lottleknots was a great option for me. If you have motion sickness or any kind of issue like that, but you still want to play the kind of cleanup games, this is a great option. Shows. I have watched a variety of shows recently. Excuse me. My throat's getting dry. I usually will play shows in the background when I'm knitting or on my lunch or something. So I'm watching New Amsterdam, which I believe I was also watching on the last episode. I'm still ongoing. I've taken a break from it because it got a little heavy. So, not that a hospital drama isn't heavy. It's just got a little heavier for me than I was hoping for in like a casual watch. It's got 5 seasons, and I think I'm partway through season 3. So I'm taking a little break from New Amsterdam. I did finish Under the Dome. Was a great series. Hated every character at the very end, but I still really enjoyed this series. I just think they're all terrible people. For the most part. I mean, everyone's gonna be selfish in a crisis. In the end, it's just gonna happen, which is totally fine. But I really did enjoy this series. If you're looking for a modern day sci-fi type of series with conspiracy theories and stuff, Under the Dome is a great series. Since I mentioned earlier, I watched the Scott Pilgrim movie. We watched the animated series, and it is different. If you are familiar with Scott Pilgrim, he has to defeat this girl's 7 evil exes before he can date her. Well, in the animated series, before he can do that, he disappears. He gets taken, and there's a bit of a twist. The really cool thing is they brought back all the actors from the movie to do voiceovers for the show, which was really cool. They also used the same art style from the graphic novels to do the animation for the show, which was really nice. I fully enjoyed it, especially after watching the movie. I really definitely enjoyed the show. There's a lot of funny one-liners in there that I keep quoting, or they keep getting stuck in my head. It was a good one. Even if you're not a fan of Scott Pilgrim or that genre, it was still a really funny show. I don't know that it's kid appropriate. Some of the I mean, they bleep out all the language, but I don't know. Maybe for older kids. I'm not here to tell you how to parent. That's not what I want to do. Anyway, next thing. The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart. I really enjoyed that. That is a limited series. It takes place in Australia, which I actually got to spend time in Australia in high school. I was there as an exchange student. I really enjoyed it there. And I still have a family that I stayed with there that we kind of keep in touch with still. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. If you are okay with, not okay with, how do I want to phrase this? It does deal with topics like domestic violence and overcoming it, and depression and loss. It is a heavy show, but it was done very, very well. The acting was amazing. The casting was great. I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a great, great show. I think there's 6 hour-long episodes, 6 or 8. But The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart was great. I would recommend it to anyone as long as you can deal with those themes. Obviously, don't push yourself to do something you're not comfortable with. I would never try to push that on someone. But if you can watch or hear about those things without being triggered, without hurting yourself mentally, or having that kind of backlash, this was a great series. I've got a couple series that I'm still working on. Blue Eye Samurai, it is an animated series, but it is not a kid's show. Warning. There is nudity. There is smoking. There is drinking. There's violence. And it is graphic. I would not let my child watch this at the age he's at. That is my opinion. I'm just warning you of the content of this show. It is a good show. I'm quite enjoying it. But again, that's the content. It follows a samurai who is what they call a halfie. The samurai is half Japanese, half white. And during this time in Japan, that in the show, the borders of Japan are closed to anyone who is not Japanese. And anyone who is mixed race is pretty much an outcast. So this samurai is on a journey of revenge for things that have happened in their past. What else am I watching? American Gods. I am enjoying this show. Again, quite graphic. If you are not into graphic, I wouldn't watch it. I am enjoying it though. What they've done is they've taken a lot of the different gods, and I'm not sure how close to true or close to culturally true any of these are, because I am not of these cultures and I'm not going to assume that role. But they've taken the ancient or the cultural gods from different countries and cultures and basically dropped them in the middle of the US. And you have the older gods, and then you have the newer gods or the newer things that people give their attention these days. And there's going to be a war, whether that's a physical war or a metaphorical war. I have yet to find out still, but so far I'm enjoying it. I'm taking it slow because it is one of those shows that I do kind of have to pay attention to. There's a lot of characters and they're each introduced very differently based on their background and whatnot. So like Loki, it's not one of those shows that I can just sit down and kind of just binge. I do actually have to pay attention to this show. The last 2 shows I've been watching are Korean dramas. One is The Tale of the Nine-Tailed, This one is about a fox spirit looking for his reborn love. I am a big fan of the main actor, and I like most of the things that he's in, and I've been waiting for this to come to a platform that I wouldn't have to pay extra to watch, and so now it's finally on Netflix. I can watch it. The other one I've been watching is called Marry My Husband. This was originally a webtoon that they turned into a drama, and now I did not watch the webtoon, but I had heard of it, and I believe it was on my like to read list. The main actress in this is one of my favorite actresses. I think I've seen everything that she's been in. And so far I am loving this show. It's not fully out yet. It's on Amazon Prime, so I guess I have to wait for the next few episodes to come out. So I'm waiting patiently. I watched the first 6 or 7 episodes that are out, and usually Korean dramas go between 12 and 16 episodes for a series, and they usually don't have a sequel. So usually it's done at 12 or 16 episodes, and then the show is over. So I was kind of hoping that it was all uploaded on Amazon so I could just binge it, but apparently not. Luck was not with me that day. The only other thing I have is my upcoming stuff. I haven't really planned my next knits. I'm kind of just enjoying knitting all these hats. Which you'll see in the next video when I go over our monthly wrap up and show you everything that I've done this month as far as projects. So I don't have really anything new in mind. My goal this month, I don't really have, my goal was to knit 2 hats a month. That was like my loose goal, because then that's 24 and 2024. But honestly, I'm not trying to tie myself down with, oh, I've knit 5 hats, I can knit 3 more this month. I'm not trying to do that to myself and put any kind of pressure on me. I'm just trying to knit what I have that I'm not in love with, and send these hats to people who deserve them. And who are going to need them. And so, I mean, if I get 7 or 8 done this month, that's great. That's all the closer to my goal. And when I hit 24, I'll send them out. So yeah, I guess that's really it. I mean, I'd like to finish my son's mittens. They're kind of sitting, they're actually sitting in here. I have the cuffs done. That's about it, the wrist cuffs. I'd like to finish the shawl or the cowl that my mom's asked me for, but I don't know if I feel like it yet, if I'm in the mood yet. So I guess I'll figure it out. Stitches. This is what happens when I talk and I'm increasing. I miss my stitches. Once I get back here, I'll show you what I've got so far. So I cast on, if you hadn't figured it out yet, another Musselburgh hat. I'll link that pattern down below if you're not familiar with it. But a Musselburgh hat is, the pattern is by Isolde Teague, and it is knit from crown to crown. So you're knitting basically 2 hats, and they fold in. It folds in on itself. I don't have one here. So you knit the hat, the crown, down to the tube, and then you finish, you do another two, you copy it, and then you close up the other crown, and then they go into each other. So it's a double thick hat, and you can knit it in almost any gauge. The pattern is very intuitive on showing you how to do everything you need to do, how to increase, how to check your gauge, what gauge to actually knit at for the size that you need. It's great, but I like to cast on using a crochet hook, and I just use this little stitch saver that I keep in my knitting bag instead of having to have an extra crochet hook, and I use a magic loop cast on. And I use the same method that Knitty Natty, or Natalie from Knitty Natty, uses. She has a video, and I'll link that down below. So that's how I learned to cast on. But this is my hat so far. So there it is. I'm using another mystery ball. I don't have the label for it. It's sock yarn, and I knit it on 2.75 millimeter needle, long circulars, and I use the magic loop. But yeah, that is what I'm working on. And so I literally cast on at the beginning of the video. This is how much I've knit. I'm going to stop talking, and for about 5 minutes, I'm just gonna play some music in the background, mute myself so you don't have to hear me mumble to myself as I'm counting. If you want to start on a project or just take some time to breathe and maybe walk around or do nothing, close your eyes and relax, take some calming breaths, go ahead and do that. Well, thank you for joining me today. All of the links of things that I've spoken about today in the video are going to be down below in the description. If you have anything you want to ask or comment, leave us a comment. Give me a like or subscribe if you want. I have so much fun doing these videos, regardless of whether you watch them. But we'd like to have you join us next time. Thanks for watching.